It is party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode, Monday episode of the Chad Prather Show. We are in the mothership, which is Studio 22. The puppet master, Mark Candice, the queen of the Ethiopian, sleek and regal, flying us into the nether regions of all things ignorance, because let's face it, folks, the world is stupid. It has gone insane. It's upside down. And hot news, Natalie, you are one saving grace with all of that flesh showing. Do you feel carnal? You have been in Vegas, the city of sin.
I just got back from Vegas. That was a very different experience
Well,
than
you're
what I'm
going to
used
have to
to.
scrape all that off here because this is a church show.
Well, okay. Well, I'm not naked, so
Yeah, you're kind of close to it. You're there, kind of close to it. With different experience, how?
Well, okay. I'll report it this way. After I noticed that the clientele, first of all, they're still very locked down. Like
Vegas is on lockdown.
They are on lockdown. If you take a drink, they'll come right by you and say, "Oh, you put your mask back on." Like they take a drink, mask back on. It's very, very, very strict there. The clientele has changed dramatically, and so we went to the pool at the Cosmopolitan on Saturday. So I asked the staff there. The best way I know how to describe it is, he said their prices have dropped so drastically that you can get a cabana at the pool for a fraction of what you used to. Well, not as much now, but during the heat of the pandemic. And he said the kind of clientele that you get there are the ones that don't tip.
Oh.
So they show up,
broke
they
ass
kind of
people.
pay. Yeah.
I got you, yeah.
And then he said we're all getting stiff. Like the cocktail waitresses that usually go around and they'll stick with one person that they know tips because nobody else is tipping around. It's just changed a lot. But I'm guessing when the prices kind of start to eke back up that it'll change again. But it was a different experience.
Yeah, well, they were saying that Vegas is supposed to open up like fully, to like, they say 91% in June. Why they came up with 91%, I don't know. But supposedly the mandates are supposed to drop and all that. It'll be interesting. I have a theory on this casino thing, and I want to talk about it because it's relevant to something I said the other day about the state of Texas. Lisa Page made me do it. Party Foul Nation, sitting in the Party Foul pub. You got a lot of things named for you, buddy.
You have to. It's called brand recognition. Naming. It's what I do.
He knows.
Yeah.
I've been taught well.
Jennings. Anyway, you guys, so I made the comment the other day about casinos in Texas, and people kind of got stirred up. Had an interesting discussion about casinos the other day because, you go across the border, and we did this because we just had a show in Oklahoma City over the weekend. Go across the border, you got WinStar Casino right there in Thackerville. You go across, you got what's the other one?
WinStar and Choctaw.
And then you go across, of course, Bossier City, Louisiana, Lake Charles, Louisiana. You even have them in New Mexico. Texas, nothing, right?
Right.
Somebody said an interesting thing to me. They said, you know why you don't want to have casinos in your states? Because people that have money don't go to them. And that's what you're starting to see in Vegas. If you make it a destination, yes. Like people destination, yes. They go to Vegas. There's certain places out there, but if you just put them all in one place and easy access that you just drive right to them because they're in your city, that's when you have a problem. Because at that point in time, you do have people who are taking their paychecks on Friday afternoon. They're
or
going
stimulus
in there.
check.
Yeah, or the stimmies. As soon as you give me my stimmy, I'm going right to the casino, and I'm going to lose it all, and now I'm broke again. So it does increase poverty if done the wrong way. But it's an interesting discussion because I can see both sides of the issue on that. So as Dolly makes her presence known.
You also have lobbyists from those other states. They're here.
They come down to Austin. They spend millions of dollars to make sure that Texas doesn't get legalized.
I think we're looking at this all wrong. I think you should look at this as reparations to our Native American brethren, because that's pretty much what it is.
Well, if you go to Oklahoma, you got to pay the Oklahoma gold tax, 50 cents a hand. So that's not real good.
Steep.
Yeah, you got to pay to play, baby. So they're making money hand over fist. But hey, every now and then I help keep the lights on as well.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, but I will say it's an interesting discussion because right now we know that the lottery, like for instance, the lottery exists in Texas, and most of that, well, it was designed to go to education. And so much of it is not going to education. And so we got a real problem here when we start talking about the way we're getting taxed to death in terms of property taxes when we have these things in place that are supposed to help our public schools. Pretty interesting stuff. I'm tempted to get into, before we go any further, I'm tempted to get into a series of messages that I received from a young lady in Orlando, Florida.
We want you to.
No, please.
Y'all like it when I read these messages.
We can rail on them too.
Yeah. It's usually when I bring up these messages, they're not good. The reason I hesitate on this one is because there's a lot of bad grammar there, and sometimes I don't know how well that translates, because it seems like I'm trying to make a person seem ignorant when they've done a good enough job on their own, right?
Read it as it was written.
Yeah, or like
Okay.
we need to start screenshotting these messages.
But I understand it just fine.
I need to start screenshotting them.
Yeah,
I need to start screenshotting them and give them to Candace to put up on the full
That's
screen.
it.
Because it's these things that when they come to me and I get these accusations, they're as much Candace's fault as they are mine.
Yeah.
Because Candace comes up with so much of this content.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of content to get into today. But before we do that, I want to welcome our friends over at Road Armor. They offer American-made bumpers built on quality, protection, and style. They are the originator of smooth steel bumpers since 2000. I'm dropping my truck off to get brand new bumpers first week in May. They've been sitting on the floor over there just waiting on me to get them in there, get the truck in there. People think all bumpers are created equal. I want to encourage you to experience the Road Armor difference. There's no substitute for a Road Armor bumper. 100% made in the USA, Texas strong. All products are backed by their lifetime guarantee. They pride themselves on building bumpers to the highest quality, style, and protection that are suited to various lifestyles and interests. Road Armor's meticulous attention to detail, advanced manufacturing technology, and the highest grade steel provide a technically superior product using the highest quality materials. Their mission is to produce products that are an irreplaceable piece of your equipment, that protect what matters most inside and outside of your vehicle. Road Armor proudly supports, hires, and mentors first responders and veterans of every caste. So why not purchase Road Armor? Their products are not only you're not only buying a product focused on style and protection, but also helping to support truly life-changing organizations such as the American Valor Foundation. Passionate about giving back to first responder and veteran communities, and do so through a lot of charitable donations, event integration, and giveaways on behalf of the organization. So I want you to visit roadarmor.com, use promo code BLAZE50, and save 50% off your first purchase. That is roadarmor.com. BLAZE50 is the promo code, and we'll be right back. You want me to read this? You want me to read this, kids? Do I need to read this?
Please, right now.
All right.
As it's written.
Obviously, I will not say the person's name, but she sent this to my Watch Chad Prather page, which, of course, is where we post our Blaze articles, and, of course, we post a lot of clips from the podcast. And here's what she said. She said, "I can't believe all the lies you post to get a following." Sorry, you want me to read it as it's written?
And
Yes.
spell out the words like you are. Please do that.
"I can't believe all the lies you post to get following, but your redneck day is coming. Someone close to you expect to lose for your lies, I promise." Now,
Is that a threat?
that's a threat.
Okay.
And then she says, "Piece of shit." This is a whole new message here. She said, "God doesn't like when you feed lies to followers that support you for the good." Now, at that point, me being the person that I am, I can't just let that lie. I said, "Care to state an example?" "No, you're trash and not worthy of my time. But your followers are white trash, and so are you. So I'm not going to waste my time, but just know your time is coming along with your people. Since you're okay, SENSE, since you're okay with killing of police brutality and lying that Biden hasn't done shit, you have absolutely lost your mind with the BS," she says it out, "you post, but I forgot your followers are all redneck, backwood, ignorant redneck, inbred, so I can expect that from you. But like I said, when the police start killing your kids, then you will want reform. F you and your racist ass and your racist followers."
Oh, so like, why don't we give out her handle so all of us redneck followers can just send her some nice messages?
See?
Please do
But
that.
where's the
They're
example?
looking for attention.
I mean, you
I-
didn't
all
give
I
an
asked for was an example. Now, again, she said, "You know exactly how to make money." She ain't wrong.
That's
She
true.
ain't wrong.
That's
She
true.
does-
She ain't wrong. That right
Watchchad.com.
there is the first real thing she said. And what white folks feed off, and you're doing a great job. Enjoy it. I wish nothing but hell for you, and trust my wishes come true. Good riddance.
So there was a compliment in there. That's great.
I don't.
You know what? A clock is right twice a day.
Yep.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
I said,
Broken clock.
can you provide a single example to make a point? No matter, and this is where it gets me, and I won't read all of this because it gets boring. No matter how many examples I provide, your ignorance will not get it. In other words, I don't have one. So then we go into fantasy land here. This is what's wrong. This is what is wrong with us as a culture overall. Not just to pick on this one individual, but this is what I see day in and day out, right? You put stuff out there, you tell the story. You give your perspective on the story, and automatically, rather than deal with the cultural facts that are going on, you have to get labeled. Because I've told you over and over again, if you can label somebody, you can put them in a box, you put the box on the shelf, you walk past that shelf, you see that label, and you're like, nope, don't want to deal with that person because I've already labeled you.
It seems like she has a lot to say for somebody who isn't worth her time.
And didn't have a lot of time. That's right. So it goes on. And there's a lot about how we're not reporting on black kids that get killed by white people. And there's a lot about thousands of black people being killed. I don't post anything about their killers. Well, we do. We talk about Chicago quite often.
For sure.
Says, I'm skimming down. How many black friends do you have? I'm not allowed to say that because that makes me a racist.
You're
remember?
right. Yeah.
No,
I can't say I have
that.
black friends.
I have the minimum too. That's the,
So that goes to Steve at watchchad.com. How many black friends sit at your house and eat with you? How many black friends do your children have? I know mine have plenty. I know my husband is white, but my children are black and they are intelligent and know what to do. If they ever have an encounter with the police and have a family full of lawyers that's ready. So who's the racist? That would be you, as the majority of all white, not of this generation. Truth hurts. I knew that would get to you. My days are always good. So, you either provide an example or good day.
Or kick rocks.
You just keep making money by spreading lies, but we both know you're racist. By what? And what did I make up, by the way? Can you tell me? You won't, I bet. Yeah, you're a fraud. Oh, wait. I'm not going to read that statement.
For someone that's such a person that has declared she hates you, she's sure spent a lot of time on this message to you.
She said, oh, wait, you do post shish from Uncle Tom ass N-words. They aren't for us.
I take it she's not.
So you
one
see
of
where
the,
this is going,
She's
right?
not one of the lawyers of the family.
There's
The
a lot going on there. This is everything doesn't have to be about race, but we've made everything about race.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. So I actually went through the last couple of days of our posts on that page just to see if there was anything that could have even potentially been triggering in that deal. And the closest thing is people slamming LeBron James for his statement when he put
You're next.
Yeah, you're next on the picture of that police officer in, what was it, Columbus, Ohio, with the Makia. Is her last name Brown?
I think so.
Is that right? Makia. Anyway, so that's kind of what we get in things like that.
We should have her on the show.
We should.
She would be a phenomenal
We really
guest.
She would be a phenomenal guest.
I got a feeling it would be exciting.
Yeah.
These are
It would be.
exciting things.
Invite her up.
Get her a ticket from Orlando. I just think that because it disturbs me when I get those messages. I don't care who it comes from. It's easy for us to poke fun and be tongue in cheek, right? But when I get those messages, sometimes I want to do my own check and say, is there something that we're communicating or miscommunicating in a way that we're missing? Like, if we become such white noise to the point that we're saying things or doing things or posting things in a certain way that is, and then I go through it and it's like I kind of use you guys as a sounding board, you white people, you inbred white people, to see if we're kind of missing something. Now, Lisa's not so white today. She's got a fresh tan on.
She does.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm trying to. I'm experimenting.
Yeah.
I want to go a little darker,
So that's kind of what we're looking at here. I mean, it's a lot of things. I had another guy this morning on social media. So because I've been on the road this morning, and had another guy who I posted the comment. I said, if I don't care what race you are, I don't care what gender you are, I don't care what your orientation is or what your persuasion is, if you believe in liberty, in freedom, in capitalism, and a constitutional republic, I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and I will fight to the end to save this country. And of course, a lot of people gave it the old amen and we're with you. Yeah, we believe that. And there you have the trolls that come on and say, well, if you believe that, then you should put on your mask and get your vaccine in order to take care of your fellow American. And I said, please refer to my statement, RE, liberty and freedom.
Thank you.
Right? And the whole constitutional thing, which doesn't demand that I get a vaccination when it comes along or change my life because of a disease or a pandemic or a virus or even the common cold. I'm pretty fired up actually this morning because I was listening, like right now, and I don't want to go too deep in this, but right now, we have House Bill 3 that is going on right now, being discussed, legislated in the Texas House there in Austin, and in that there's a lot of what I think is overreach has the ability to limit a lot of our freedom. So it's basically what that says is in a time of pandemic that you can pass the governor can sign a lot of executive orders. It gives him a lot of power in that situation. The arbitrary nature that irritates me is it also gives them the power to determine what is a pandemic. So let's say the common cold. If you deem a common cold a pandemic, now you can do all of these executive overreaches. In essence, you can control a lot of things that happen, a lot of things that are sold, a lot of your movement, a lot of your ability. So I've been listening to a lot of stuff, just commentary on that this morning. So I'm kind of fired up about all this stuff.
I saw maybe on FAA and CBS, they had run a press release maybe about you throwing your hat in the ring for governor. And so naturally I went and looked at the comments and lots of great ones, lots of and then I saw one that's like, this guy, just another comedian, he's going to get slaughtered in a debate. And it just gets me so fired up because I just want to be like, I hope you are eating your words because they have no idea the level that you bring to the table.
I hope you're right.
I know I'm right. I mean, we know we're right. It's interesting.
Well, let me go out on a limb and say this. So while we're looking at the stupidity of the world, let me point out this. We have no idea if, let's say, Matthew McConaughey, this has made news all over the nation. I've got friends in states all over the nation saying, we're talking about Matthew McConaughey here, potentially running for Texas governor. And I'm like, well, I don't know why that's news in Georgia, but it's news everywhere because it's Matthew McConaughey. And everybody goes on there and says he needs to stick with his day job. He needs to stick to acting. He doesn't know anything about politics. And all of these same type statements, right? Let me correct you guys on something. I don't agree with what I know of his politics, which honestly isn't much. But a lot of the things that I've heard him say, I don't agree with. That's fair enough. But to say this guy can't navigate politics in Austin, that's another story. He has navigated the politics, which is Hollywood. And if you don't think that's some down and dirty crap, this guy is not an ignoramus. He's a pretty smart guy, pretty accomplished. I mean, the guy was in law school, for crying out loud, when he decided to go into acting, which, yeah, you could take that either way. But let me just say, Matthew McConaughey is not some dude with his head in the sand and doesn't know what's going on. Now, I don't know how much weed he's smoked, how many bongos he's played naked on the UT campus, or how much patchouli oil he rubs on his body every day, and I honestly don't care.
I don't.
Sounds
think
like a
that
fun
matters.
guy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's kind of dude. Like, I kind of. Now, I mean, personally, I think he's the worst possible thing that could happen to the state of Texas because I think he's a Trojan horse that's going to blow the doors open because he's a leftist in centrist clothing and he's going to make it very easy for the state to flip blue, which we're already on the verge of doing right now. Okay, so we got to be careful with a lot of these things that are going on. But to say the guy doesn't know anything about politics is pure nonsense. Anybody that's accomplished that much in Hollywood, he's an Academy Award winner, for crying out loud, obviously a talented guy, knows how to communicate, knows how to think, probably more critically than most people out there today, especially more so than our girl in Orlando that, couldn't state one example. So just be careful when you say the guy doesn't know what he's doing. Because he's not in the race yet. But let's ease up on rolling that snowball down the hill because we don't know how much that thing. He might say, you know what? Let me prove something to you, and that could be scary for the state of Texas.
Wasn't there a wrestler that was a governor up in some other state?
Minnesota.
Jesse Ventura. Yeah.
How do you feel about Caitlyn Jenner in California with some conservative views?
Has a lot of conservative views. Right? Caitlyn does. So for that, hey, I'm just happy to see Bruce has a little race left in him.
Wow.
Yeah, there it is. So
I think he's the perfect
Bruce
governor
can still
for
run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bruce can still run.
They, them, she, the one.
The issue I have there is not the politics, it's the dysphoria. I think you're bringing a mental issue in that I think is dangerous to being a representative leader in a state or a country. That because you're already dealing with a mental problem that Johns Hopkins University has stated is a mental issue, this gender dysphoria. Obviously, a guy who says, I've always felt like I'm living in a woman's body. That's a dysphoria that's not healthy. So politics aside, the mental state, I think, is a little bit different. But hey, at least my skeletons don't look so weird. I mean,
Your
I got skeletons, but at least I don't have a bone in my dress. Okay, let me just tell that joke. How about that? Okay, how about that? All right,
Well,
one
at
step
least your
up.
skeletons aren't under the bumper of your car.
There you go. Oh, Jennings, you had to one-up me, didn't you? But you're not wrong.
There it is.
You're not wrong.
Remember
Boy, that manslaughter got dropped real quick.
It did.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I got another joke. I'm not going to do it. Hey, Hunter Biden is up to no good, from his shady foreign business dealings to the lies in the media. The Bidens are working overtime to cover up Hunter's laundry list of scandals, and the media and big tech is helping them do it. That's why the filmmakers behind the Gosnell movie are making My Son Hunter, the Hunter Biden movie, to put an end to the Biden media cover-up. My Son Hunter will expose it all: the shady foreign business deals, the laptop, and a whole lot more. But they need your help to do it. Hollywood will not fund this film. It's too controversial. It exposes some of the most powerful people in the world. So these independent filmmakers are relying on you for your help. Your gift of $10, $50, $100 or more will help stop the Biden media cover-up and make My Son Hunter a reality. Your donation is 100% tax deductible. I want you to go to mysonhuntermovie.com right now. Make your donation and help make this incredibly important film. mysonhunter.com. Go there and we'll be right back. Oh, I want to take a little break from all the drama and remind everybody we're going to be in the Woodlands this Thursday. That's the Woodlands, Texas. That is the 27th, Steve? Or 28th? Either way. Let me look.
It's Thursday.
It's going to be the 29th.
Steve stares off into space like it's going to tell him something. It's 28th. No, 29th. Yes, 29th. Do-si-dos.
You have me all confused.
Do-si-dos Thursday night, the Big Barn. And we're going to be, I never not sold that place out. I'd kind of like to make sure that it's sold out again this go round. Should have a good crowd. And also going to be in San Angelo on Friday night, the 30th. WatchChad.com has all the info and the details. Go see it. That's where all the fun stuff is. Nation faces hand-to-hand combat to get reluctant Americans vaccinated. We're going to get that shot now.
Wow.
You're going to get that shot. I'm telling you, it's going. These people are going to die trying to stick that needle in you. I mean, this is insanity. You've already gotten it, haven't you, Lisa?
No.
Come on.
I have not.
Somebody in this room has gotten the shot. At least one of them.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Not me.
People have gotten the shot. Steve's probably sitting over there. He's got a needle stuck in his ass right now.
It's not a COVID-19 shot.
Different.
Now that President Biden has met his goal to have all adults eligible for the coronavirus vaccine, health officials around the country are hitting what appears to be a soft ceiling. More than half the nation's adults have gotten at least one dose, but it's going to take hard work and some creative changes in strategy to convince the rest. Oh, man. Politicians, state health officials, business leaders, policymakers, and politicians are struggling to figure out how to tailor their messages and their tactics to persuade not only the vaccine hesitant, but also the indifferent. The work will be labor intensive. Much of it may fall on private employers, but the risk is clear. If it takes too long to reach herd immunity, the point at which the spread of the virus slows, worrisome new variants could emerge that evade the vaccine. Now, what that says is, even if you get it, the next round of crap's coming.
Right.
And you're going to have to get a whole different kind of thing. So they're just going to keep pumping different serums in you. And I posted got a lot of attention over the weekend over my new I Trust Dr. Seuss over Dr. Fauci shirt. Posted the picture of myself wearing it, of course. it's somebody said, they said, you better get it because you're infecting other people and they said, I hope you wear that shirt after you get out of intensive care from being on a respirator. And I had to screenshot this one response. It was so fantastic. It said, he'll never need the intensive care unit or a ventilator because he's not a disease-ridden, overweight, soggy-assed waste of oxygen.
Facts.
They're setting this whole thing up. But July 4th, Biden's going to come out and say, "Hey, we can lax some of the."
He's supposed to say that tonight.
They're going to make him look. Yeah,
they're saying
so
something
at all.
tonight, isn't he?
No.
And he's supposed to say that you can now not wear your mask outside. Because
that's what they're
Fauci's
setting
saying
up
that
to do.
they're
Ain't gonna
saving it for
happen,
him
guys.
to say.
The man just did a Zoom call with 16 world leaders, and he was the only doofus wearing 2 masks.
Mm-hmm.
2 masks, and then he's like, "Let my wife come back into your country." Everyone's like, "What? This guy?"
Yeah, Puddinhead, he ain't gonna come off of nothing, man. They probably keeping him covered up. That half-face safe space, they probably got him covered up because it's probably not even Joe under there.
When you have AOC saying that she's happy with what he's done,
The man
He's
wants to take your
exceeded.
hamburger away.
He's exceeded her expectations.
really has.
all I got to say
Right
is
there.
come and stake it.
That's your Civil War moment. That's where it's going to come down.
Yeah,
to
it comes
blood.
down to
Yeah.
your beef.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Oh, yeah.
It's
Us, for
on
us
at that
rednecks,
point.
we ain't having that.
They're going to find every way they can to try to implement the insanity of that Green New Deal. They really are.
When you make AOC moderate, like, she's like, "Wow, he did a lot. That's progressive."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Estimates of what it takes to reach herd immunity vary. Most experts put the figure at 70% to 90% of the population. That figures include children who are not yet eligible to be vaccinated because they don't get it.
Nope.
And judging by the vaccination rate so far, herd immunity will be difficult to reach, particularly in red states and in the South.
Well, that's all right. They slowed it down. They slowed herd immunity down.
What I want to
They're
know is,
dragging it out. They should have just let it.
I want to know, why do they
course.
care? Why do they care? Presumably, everybody else is vaccinated. They're safe. Let all of us dumb hicks die off.
Well, you
Yeah.
have a decreasing rate in Florida. You have a decreasing rate in Texas, places where the mandates have been lifted as much as possible. Then you have Oregon, who wants to keep it as a permanent mandate so that you have to wear a mask until you die or Jesus comes back, although they don't believe that in Oregon. And their rates are higher than anywhere else in the country right now. You can't. I mean, I've started a new trend on Instagram where I see a mask laying in a parking lot and I put my foot beside it and I said I almost stepped in sheep shit. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere. People are just littering with these masks. I mean, just throwing them everywhere. You say, well, your doctor wears a mask. Yeah, but he also changes it every few minutes.
Yeah, and
too.
doctors wear masks a lot of the time. Like, you don't go to the dentist and the hygienist isn't wearing a mask.
Right.
Like,
Well, you're over my open mouth. I don't want you spitting in it. I mean, do masks work? Yeah, in the right situation. But this stuff has gotten to be insane.
Well, and
now
I was in Vegas and just got back. I'm like, COVID is the least of my concerns are coming home from Vegas.
casinos are the nastiest places on the planet.
Oh man, the
You talk
things
about
you
germs. They have a. Some casinos have now started instituting no smoking areas, right? Because you know how it is. You go in there and you got the little old lady on her oxygen tank
get there. Okay.
with her cigarette in her mouth. She got the oxygen going up her nose with a cigarette in her mouth. And now they're wearing a mask and they're pulling the mask down to smoke.
It's ridiculous.
it's so insane.
Now, I did get kicked out of the comic book store in Burleson, Texas,
You
for
did?
not wearing a mask because they.
Oh my God, there's
You
so many
did?
freaking jokes right there.
Oh,
What you just said, that one statement.
There are.
What do you get?
How's
kicked?
your standing at the Chuck E. Cheese?
I'm just,
I want to know.
I'm there to buy comic books for
I
my
want to know
daughter.
what you got kicked out of the comic book store for all the other times.
It didn't take a pandemic for them to mark you, son.
They're the only place in Burleson that's mandating that you. I guess they're mandating, or their policy is you have to wear one. They'll stop you at the door. I almost got attacked by 7 nerds. Like, they're scary when they're mad.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
unhinged.
kind
for
of like I
sure.
run in with the little people. You don't want to face all those people in groups. You don't.
No.
Talk about herd. Yeah, that's
nerds.
But they're starting to ease back on the Johnson & Johnson deal, starting to give it again. So good luck with your blood clot.
There's only 15 of them. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, what's the
What's
deal?
it? Roll the dice. We like to gamble. Come on.
I mean, live it up. My issue is not the vaccine. It's the way they're pushing this vaccine. It's you got to get it, but then you still got to mask up. You still got to social distance. You still got to stay home. I mean, in France, you can't go more than 6 miles from your home. That's insanity. And everything that they do in Europe is usually just a little bit before we start doing it here. You look at Europe, it's like going back to the future. It's so, you say, well, we'll never get like that. They're wanting to limit you to one hamburger a month, people.
Right.
We're getting there. We're headed that way, guys.
I mean, 100%. The insanity is being so, we are making it's a compliance to stupidity is what it is.
It is.
And we're all just doing this. We're buying into this stuff that it's nonsense.
I said it a year ago. We just rolled over so quick to what our government just threw on us.
And you're right, because what they do is they take a little bit of liberty, a little bit of liberty, a little bit of liberty. And when you get used to that, then they start taking large swaths of liberty.
Yeah.
They start taking your freedoms away. And you wind up, I mean, now we're talking about rationing certain types of food.
Yeah.
Guys.
I cannot believe how compliant people still
they do
are
it because
a
they
year
wrap it-
later with the masks.
They wrap it in a bow of either racism or you're not taking care of your fellow Americans.
Yeah,
That's how
or
they
you're
wrap it
being
up to make you feel
selfish.
guilty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't
That's
you
why
worry
people
about
are
that
doing it.
hamburger thing, though, Chad.
I was going to say, I'll pick up the slack.
My fat ass ain't letting that happen. You got to go to war. We got to go to war.
That's when blood gets shed, y'all. Right there. Red meat. Hey, friends, if I want to ask you this. Are you prepared if there is a sudden food shortage in America? Stock up on your beef, man. We're currently facing more social unrest, hyperinflation, a possible stock market crash, not to mention severe weather that comes along this time every year. That's why the smart thing to do right now is stockpile high-quality emergency food that you can only get from My Patriot Supply, America's leader in survival food and self-reliance. I use them. You should too. My Patriot Supply will get you through whatever happens next. And right now you can save $50 off their popular 4-week food kit that gives you over 2,000 calories a day. Very special food that will stay fresh for up to 25 years. That's right. But you got to put it in proper storage, of course. Go to preparewithchad.com. You'll get the emergency food you need before the next emergency. Only order by 3 p.m. and your 4-week food kit will ship same day. Now's the time to prepare for the unexpected and avoid dealing with empty store shelves again. Preparewithchad.com. That's preparewithchad.com. Be right back. How committed are you to ensuring not only an afterlife, but make sure that you do the afterlife right? If you're going to spend eternity in the afterlife, you want to be in the VIP section.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to just be hanging around outside the rope.
Well, I step at Jesus in my heart. And then, whenever I pray, I do all the things, forgive me for my sins and then help others. And then also I would like a roller coaster in my backyard when I'm in heaven that changes every time I get on it. So it's something new and everybody want to come over and play.
That sounds like where Michael Jackson lived in this life.
Is there different levels?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
read your Bible. There is.
We're all just, I
So
talk
there's
about
gonna be
kingdom and
people
your
looking down
mansions
on
in
There's
me,
heaven.
different
even if
levels
I'm
of
still
reward.
they'll still be looking down on
You're
me.
still going to get peer pressure, baby. You're still going to get judged. Bullies.
There are bullies in heaven?
I don't remember that in the Bible.
Is there a
It talks
bar?
about-
Is there a party
it talks
pub?
about
I know about different
There's bound to
mansions
be.
and
different rewards and
yes,
things
I
like
do.
that. Yeah.
But you don't need to be looking
Well,
down
that's
at
like
me
a point.
judging just because my mansion's is slightly smaller than yours. That's
Well,
rude,
I
Chad.
wanted to tell you guys how to guarantee that you can be the one with the upper ground, the higher ground,
Okay.
close to the throne.
Okay.
Here it is. A Buddhist monk in Thailand chopped off his own head on his birthday in hopes the gruesome sacrifice would bring him luck in the afterlife. I'm going to try this name, okay? Thammakron Wang Preacher.
Wow.
68 years old, a monk for 11 years. He built a guillotine near a religious statue portraying the god Indra, doing the same thing. The monk's nephew, who found the decapitated body, said he had left behind a note. It stated that chopping off his head on it was his way of praising Buddha, and he'd been planning this for 5 years now. Boonshirt Boonrod said,
I take it the rest of us are lucky that he did that himself.
yeah, I hopes he went where I thinks he didn't.
Somebody said
Poor
you couldn't go to heaven if you killed
Thamacron.
yourself.
Thamacron.
I don't think this is biblical.
I thought you couldn't go to heaven if you kill yourself.
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
What's the rules?
Maybe
Come on,
there's
tell me.
special exceptions.
That's been a theological debate for centuries.
Big one. Big one. It's true.
But, I mean, sin's forgiven. Sin's forgiven.
Mm-hmm. Died on the cross once.
Go on with yourself, son.
I'm just,
Rose
I'm just
again.
asking.
Maybe you should listen to what your
Washed
mama
it
had to
away.
say.
I did.
His wish was to offer his head and soul to the Lord so the Lord could reincarnate him as a higher spiritual being in the next life. He didn't want to come back as like a roach or a rat or one of the...
Yeah.
I don't know that they worship
Roaches-
the rats there.
Roaches live forever, don't they? Unless they get eaten by a rat.
Or a bearded dragon.
He fulfilled his goal. He met
Weirdly
enlightenment,
specific.
said one
Yeah.
of his followers. So somebody had to clean that mess up.
Goodness.
YouTube, you know, we did this special a couple of weeks ago on YouTube, and it's deplatforming and demonetizing the wrong people because people get these influencers, they do all kinds of this crazy crap, and YouTube takes their apology and just makes
Yeah.
more money off of it.
Yeah.
YouTube CEO receives Freedom of Expression Award. I have a little bit of an issue with that. Seeing as how I can pretty much, Candace, and you can attest to this, we can map out what our YouTube numbers are going to be every single day, right? We can pretty much map those out. There's nothing breaks loose anymore with any viral quality, nothing breaks. So freedom expression, my shiny ass. But we want to be able to have as diverse and open a platform as possible and represent as many views as possible on the platform, but we also need to make sure there are limits. We wouldn't allow adult content, hate content, dangerous content, or conservative content. So,
You just repeated yourself.
yeah, there you go. But then YouTube temporarily demonetizes beauty influencer after he admits sending sexually explicit messages to two 16-year-old boys. That, of course, should be, but again, temporarily demonetizes. I mean, anytime Steven Crowder does a humor sketch,
Yeah.
he's off. He's out. Got to go. I don't even know what his status is right now, if he's monetized or not. But these are the kind of things that are going on in the world that just drive me crazy. Did you watch the Oscars?
I didn't. I saw the news stories about it this morning.
Did you see Chuck Schumer's tweet? When you think, did you see it, Lisa?
Ew, no. I hate Hollywood.
Let me look it up for you.
I ain't on Twitter.
Yeah.
When Anthony Hopkins was like, wait, I won?
Yeah.
I was asleep. I won.
What?
He wasn't even there for
Chuck
his
Schumer posted a picture of himself. I wish we had it. Sitting on a chair there in front of the television. And he said, excited to be watching the Oscars with an ice-cold plant-based beer. Thanks, Joe Biden.
What?
I don't know if anybody's ever drank Meatweiser.
I was going to say.
There it is. There it is.
Oh,
Excited to be watching the Oscars with an ice-cold plant-based beer.
why is he so close?
When is beer not plant-based?
Exactly.
Very soon. Because
I
of
don't
the
know
Green New
who
Deal.
puts beef in their beer.
What?
But that is virtue signaling and pandering to a degree that is off the charts. Thanks, Joe Biden.
Joe.
I also like to screenshot my gas prices and tag thanks Joe Biden every time. That's my new thing.
Yeah.
Your thing with the masks, mine is every time I get gas, thanks Joe Biden and all you dimwits who voted for him. Appreciate it.
Is he suggesting that Joe Biden is responsible for the Oscars taking place?
No, I think
Yeah.
I
What's
don't
he
know
thanking
why they
him for?
took place. Did anybody watch a single movie?
No one
that
watched that. Nobody.
Schumer and two people.
I mean, the movies were
That
close.
Pelosi
Not
and
even-
AOC.
Not even one of the winners was watching.
No one.
I watched part of one of the movies, and it was the one with the drummer that went deaf. And
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Exactly.
I'm like, honest to God, I have no idea what's coming
Well,
out of Hollywood
it
right
didn't
now.
win, so
I have not seen a film, like I've not gone and seen a movie in a theater since the second It movie.
I've seen,
Whenever that
as
was.
far as I know, it's been over. I think I've seen one movie and I went to a showing of The Goonies in a movie tavern.
Classic.
Yeah, I went to The Goonies. That's the only movie I think I've been to in over 12 months.
I watched a couple of movies on the plane.
You would think Hollywood would be out of business by now.
I've been going to movie taverns too, but like kid movies. You know, all the ones that are coming back, the old ones.
Yeah.
I've been going to movie taverns too, but I don't really want to talk about it.
That's why, again, places like Chuck E. Cheese serve beer. You got to put up with the kids. You got to be at the tavern.
Oh,
It's the closest thing you can get your kids to the bar.
Give
is the
me
movie
the menu.
tavern.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So this whole woke culture, right? Don't forget my book, Am I Crazy? An Unapologetic Patriot looks at today's woke world. Comes out August 3rd. You can pre-order it now. But this is the thing that I'm saying. Plant-based beer. Mm-hmm. I mean, do these people even think about what they're saying?
Yeah.
When they do this, and the people who read these things, and I go on and I read the comments, and people are like, "Yes, that is so wonderful. Our world is getting so much better." And
I love drinking it next to my falafels. They're so good, so good.
When you are seeing major news networks talk about how low the ratings were, all-time low, wake up.
yeah, nobody
It was
cares.
the most woke, and nobody's watching.
What was the article the other day that said as soon as that they've shown that as soon as celebrities start talking about politics in their speeches, the televisions get turned off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were saying that. Fox reported this morning that they were a bunch of celebrities were already railing on law enforcement right up there on the podium.
They
That's
were.
a real quick way to get people to tune out.
Yep.
Let's all take a deep breath. And
Yep.
Before you
I'm
know
upset.
it, they're going to start making plant-based
Plant-based.
wine.
I'm surprised. Well, you know what? Before we know it, the red carpet will just be like grass. It'll be just a line of sod. Roll it out for all the.
You know, if they cared, what they should do is they should just have we'll be right back.
We have some good ideas.
So Demi Lovato.
No.
Oh, don't
no,
start. No,
just
and
stop.
you know what? Her haircut looks
Nope.
ridiculous.
Finding
Just
it
stop.
extremely hard to order Froyo from the Big Chill frozen yogurt.
Well, yeah.
When you have to walk past tons of sugar-free cookies, other diet foods before you get to the counter. Do better, please. Hashtag diet culture vultures. And so then she walked it back. She said, I was thinking maybe it would help if it made more clear that the sugar-free options and the vegan options are for that. Labeling the snacks for celiac or diabetes or vegans. Oh, she's going to take it to a whole new level.
Shut up.
When it's not super clear, the messaging gets confusing, and being in LA, it's really hard to distinguish diet culture versus health needs. I think clearer messaging would be more beneficial for everyone. So this is not an apology. This is her way of saying,
Yeah. And she got called out. That's why she posted that ridiculous 5-minute video.
it's like me trying to walk back stuff on being vaccine choice. Dang. Every speech I ever give now, I got to explain that to somebody.
Really?
Oh, God, yeah.
No, Demi Lovato. No
So
more.
anyway, you just got to make sure that the celiac folks are taken care
Yeah.
of. Pro celiac.
And diabetics, make sure, Thanks
Everybody.
for clarifying, you
We
donkey.
really got to bring back shame culture,
Keto
guys.
people.
Got to bring back shame culture. People should be ashamed of how they do things.
How dare you
the
have
things
yogurt.
they say. All right, we're going to get out of here and go have a plant-based beer.
Yes.
I hope you guys will come see us in the Woodlands on Thursday night and then in San Angelo, Texas, Friday night. Go to watchchad.com. It's where all the fun stuff is. You can check out what we're doing campaign-wise. Sign up on our email list, Prather2022.com. Sign up every day. The emails come out. For everybody here, we love you. God bless you. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Bye.